The innate nature to serve. Invest in your guests and the profits will follow. Peter Ricci began his hospitality career washing dishes. 4 decades later, he leads Florida Atlantic University's Hospitality and Tourism Management program. Throughout his time as a hotel operator, Ricci learned a simple truth. When you invest in your team, profits follow. He recently sat down with Gem Journal Today's editor-in-chief to discuss guest experience strategies and why putting people first still pays off in today's evolving hospitality landscape.
For me, the way I successfully led hotels to profit was always through hiring right with a guest service attitude, not so much for experience, but for like an innate desire to serve. And I would always overspend on employee relations and rewards and those kinds of things. But all of my hotels became financially successful beyond the budget, beyond, in many cases, beyond what our expectations could have dreamed to be. So I started teaching excellence in guest service at least 25 years ago when I first entered academia full-time, but I had already taught as an adjunct part-time professor, and I always talked about culture, hiring right, leading the guest service, leading the profit, because I'm all about not cost cutting to get to the bottom line, but improving the culture and the service to increase the repeat visitors. So I've always looked at service across any business. I chose my back surgeon based on service from his team, and he's part of Baptist Health, which has outstanding patient relations. I choose where I get my oil changed to the better service provider. So you name it. And in my class, I try to find articles of people providing excellence in service in different fields. And I have some examples from a dental practice that they have 4 room colors. You can pick in advance if it's open for your color. You can choose the music they play, all kinds of features and benefits. And one of the most that I really appreciate is a general physician that I've used who will text you if he's running late, so you don't waste your time sitting in their lobby. And why more doctors' practices don't do that, I don't know. And it goes on and on, from grocery stores to car washes, you name it. I always choose based on culture and service as the consumer. And I wish more people did that, because in the end, it would improve service globally. The technology improves the guest experience, but whether it's a customer, a patient, a patron, a guest, a client, whatever you want to call them, we're in the services fields. So the better connection, the better relationship, the more responsive, the faster I am, all these things play into the package. So infusing technology to help is one thing. Replacing humans with technology is a completely other thing. And again, it all depends on your product or service and where your customers want to meet you. Sailing recently on Royal Caribbean, you can use the app, you cannot use the app. You can use the app a lot, you can use the app not at all. So it's like right now we're in a traveling stage and a workforce stage of 4 or 5 generations all together. Everyone has different expectations of what great service means to them. I personally still like to phone some hotels before I stay to see if I could get a better deal from the director of sales and marketing on site. I know that AI is, pushing up to me the best deal based on my keywords or my search or whatever it is. But without people in the background, the technology can flop. And if you only rely on people, the people will flop. So you need really a balance of where your customers are, what their expectations are, and meeting in the right spot. And that takes a lot of surveying and asking. And that's the difficult part, because you don't want to over survey where everybody becomes bored, but you want to survey enough to know where your market segment wants to meet you with technology. Make sure you love people, that you have an innate desire to serve, period. If it feels right to hold the door for others, to say hello, to smile, it comes naturally, then that's one bullet point that's a must. Because You are going to be with people all the time, every day, not all of them happy. So that's one. Second bullet point is picture the hospitality business as broad as your mind can be, because there are jobs from architecture to lawyers to operations to guest service to food to purchasing the IT. Every part of the business world has a place in hospitality. So don't think only of hotels and restaurants, which is a very common thing to do for humans. They think hotels and restaurants, and that's a myth. There are so many myriad places to work. And the third thing is, my bullet point is, like, you have to do lifelong learning. If not, you'll stagnate. And I don't care what field you're in, hospitality, medicine, banking, whatever. You need to stay ahead of the curve on learning. And there are so many outlets now, many of them free, that you should do lifelong learning in a format and a style and a topic that you can afford, because some of the free ones may be not worth the free, and some of the very expensive ones might not be worth very expensive. So do a little time looking them over, see what's popular and respected and has a track record, but do lifelong learning. So, make sure you have a love of people, learn throughout your life, and think of this industry so broadly that it will warp your mind, because there's so many job titles and descriptions that I could have never imagined, that I'm just proud to be in the hospitality business.